All right, let's hope this works. Are we live? Hello, testing, 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 testing. Let's check. Let's check. I think we're good. All right. All right, so today, guys, we are going to talk about Model 3s. How I think the market is crashing. It will be crashing soon, and we're starting to see the effects of it in the auctions, which I'll show you in a little bit. But my predictions on the Model 3 market, what Tesla might do in terms of pricing since they took away that long range off of the website and you can't even order it. How you can really only order like a short range right now. And really just my predictions on the Model 3 and how to potentially get a deal on one or at least get a Model 3 under 35K, which would be a steal in my opinion. But in terms of today's course, we're going to go, or today's order, we're going to go with Model 3 prices. We're going to go over the current tax credit on what I think on it and how it might reflect. Auction values on used Model 3s. What the used Model 3 market looks like currently right now. And of course, at the end, we'll do like a Q&A if anyone has any questions about Model 3 or buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. We'll go through that at the end, or if you want to ask questions throughout it, definitely it's okay as well. But welcome back, Owen Lee. Welcome back, Tyson Industries, my favorites. So welcome back. This video is sponsored by my Calendly link down below in the description. If you want to schedule a call with me, like a consulting coaching call, you can click that link. It's only 20 bucks and I'll respond to any questions you have moving forward. And I have a really cool buying and selling resource guide that goes over like financing tips or to how to buy a car or how to get a Tesla quickly and where to sell it to get the most value, as well as some insurance favorites that I have for the cheapest insurance if you're driving in California and a bunch of other tips as well. But before we get into it, please like and subscribe, comment down below or hit the comments in the chat. But let's get into it. So I'm still using this new Ecamm software, so let's try and figure this out. So if I switch scene, let's see, let me go here and let me go here. Oh yeah, I forgot I can do this now. Oh, okay, so it's right here. So then how do I do this? How do I show? Is the comment there? No, I don't think so. It's not there. No. Hello. Woo. Hello. Preview mode. Publish. Oh, okay. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Now I can do that, and I can do this. Publish. And then I can do this. We can just go through all the comments. So funny. All right, so current Model 3 prices. This is really interesting. As probably some of you have known or heard, Tesla removed the Model 3 long range from the website. So you can't even order a Model 3 long range at all. It says available in 2023. So most people are probably speculating that they want to figure out the pricing for this so that they can adjust for the tax credit. But if Tesla does not change their pricing for the Tesla Model 3 right now, you can order a rear-wheel drive Model 3 for $46,990. And if you factor in that tax credit and take delivery on January 1st, that brings your cost of a Model 3 short range or standard range rear-wheel drive to $46,990 minus $7,500, $39,490. So definitely super inexpensive and a slick deal in my opinion if you can get a Model 3 for under that price. So that's definitely crazy if that's even possible. So I think Model 3 short range or standard range would be a slick deal. It does say right now that you'll have to, if you order right now, you'll be forced to take delivery in October to December. So I feel like a lot of people are going to try and push that to next year. But that's one way if you want like an inexpensive Model 3 under 40K, you just do that and then just try and push it to January. This is something that I think I might be doing because I mean the Model 3 is a great daily driver and kind of like not a work vehicle, but something to drive if you do a lot of driving. That's why a lot of Uber drivers use the Model 3 because it's inexpensive. You get, good value for your money. You don't have to pay for gas, maintenance, or anything like that. So definitely really good and potentially a really good value if you can time it right. So my recommendation on this is just wait as long as you possibly can and put your order in like maybe 1st of December and then just don't respond to anything. Don't put the address in for delivery. Don't fill out anything on the profile until after January 1st, because then that's when they'll try and really force you to try and take delivery of the Model 3. Or I mean, they'll try and force you to take delivery of the Model 3 in December. So just stall as much as you can. But I feel like Tesla is going to try and adjust prices for this. My theory actually is, as most of you probably know, the $7,500 tax credit is back for electric vehicles. How do I do this? Okay. Back for electric vehicles. And the true winners of this are really Ford, GM, and of course Tesla. So you can see some of the vehicles here that are getting it back. But since GM has sold too many cars, and same with Tesla, they don't get the tax credit until January 1st of next year. But Ford gets it right now, so you can get a Mach-E. If you can find one for MSRP, then you can get a Mach-E for with the tax credit. But I just texted a local dealer next to me, and it was hilarious. They want 10K markup on a Select and $15,000 markup on a Premium for the Mach-Es. So there's really no deals there unless you find like a really cool, slick dealer that will help you out. Then you're gonna be paying a lot of markup. And it's basically the same with Hyundai Ioniq and the Kia. Avatar Aviator. I just ordered one last week. Are we sure the car qualifies? What did you order? Did you order a Tesla Model 3? So the Teslas, since they've hit their price cap, the tax bill says that you can get the $7,500 tax credit after January 1st. So you kind of have to stall. If you ordered one last week, now I'm curious, since you ordered one last week, hopefully it was a Model 3 or Model Y. Actually, it doesn't really make a difference because both of them qualify for the tax credit. What's your ETA of when it says it'll be delivered to you? Does it say this year or does it say next year? Because you'll want to push to January 1st of next year so that you can get the tax credit. But going back to the tax credit, yeah, so if you can time it correctly, you can get a Model 3 for under $40K, which would be super sick. But Tesla, Ford, and GM are the real winners of this tax credit for now until some of the other manufacturers start to bring battery and assembly to the United States, which some of them have. And I actually did a live stream with Sam Su, and he actually figured out and went through all the different factories like LG and Panasonic, which factories are in motion and when they'll be actually be made to sell to the manufacturers. All right, so your Model 3, you ordered one, Aviator, end of November to end of December this year. So yeah, it's definitely cutting it close. You can try and stall. Hopefully you're not on the West Coast, because the West Coast orders, they try and really pressure at the end of the month or end of the quarter to take delivery. So hopefully you're on the East Coast, and with logistics and everything like that, they won't be able to push you to take delivery of a Model 3. But now you know, basically try and push to 1/1 of next year unless the IRS or the EPA or they change something about this bill to release the cap earlier. But really this means that it's going to be a bullish year for Tesla, because a $7,500 discount for their vehicles, the Model 3 and the Model Y, is super strong. Okay, so Texas. So that's not too bad. Hopefully you'll be able to kind of stall as much as possible. Just try and say you're out of town. Don't respond to any of their texts or DMs, and just push to January 1st. I mean, that's how it's looking like right now. But my theory on the Model 3 is Tesla has removed the Model 3 long range off their website. So you can't even order it anymore. Oh, that's cool. So now it's putting the comments on the screen without me doing it? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. So you can't even order a Model 3 long range anymore. So you're forced to kind of order the Model 3 short range. So my theory is the tax credit, as it writes, puts a cap on the model sedans. So SUVs have a price cap of $80K. If you buy a car that has an MSRP of higher than that, you don't get the tax credit. So the Model Y qualifies currently, and the Model 3 qualifies as it's currently as well, but not the Model 3 Performance, because the Model 3 Performance is $63K essentially. But sedans, the price cap is $55K. So I think that's why they removed the Model 3 long range from the website, because it basically didn't qualify at the current standing. But my hunch, knowing Tesla and trying to squeeze as much tax credit and revenue from possible, my hunch is that they're going to remove Model 3 short range and Model 3 long range altogether. And they're going to sell a Model 3. But they're going to price that Model 3 at around 52 to like 53K, just so you have enough room if you want to choose like $1,000 for a paint color or $1,000 for like that white interior. So that way it would be right under 55K to take delivery. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to deliver with this shorter range of 267, or maybe they'll bump it to like 280 or 290, but they're going to stick with one battery. That's what I think. And once you take delivery, they're going to say, hey, do you need that extra range? Well, great news. You can pay $7,500, which is the tax credit amount, to get that longer range, or you can pay us $125 a month subscription to get that longer range, to try and squeeze that extra revenue from both the front end when they sell you the car, and the back end after you take delivery of the car for that extra range. They might even push it to, because what is the long range? It gets like 320, right? So they could say like, oh, we're going to squeeze that little bit extra with those new batteries out, get you 350 range if you pay that extra 7,500, but from the factory, it's only going to have 280 or 290 range. That's my theory. That's what I think they're going to do next year, just squeeze extra revenues from the Model 3 variant. They might even time it with a refresh of the Model 3, because the Model 3 has not changed at all since it's came out. Well, sorry, it's come out with small features and like here and there small stuff with like a powered trunk and new headlights and tail lights and things like that. But in terms of the body design, it hasn't really changed in terms of like the design of it and anything like that. Okay, so let's see the comments. So now it's not going anymore. But yeah, so damn. Oh, and Leah, that's my thing. What do you guys think of that? Eddie, thank you for putting in the chat. Sedans are capped at 55K, exactly. So the Mach-E qualifies because it's an SUV. And there's not many other cars that really qualify if we go back to this list. The Bolt is a super slick deal right now because it's already an inexpensive car. I think it's like 22 or under in the 20K range. But if you can take delivery next year on January 1st, that's going to be a super slick deal car because of the $7,500 tax credit at time of sale. Razor EV. Let's see here. I can do it this way, right? Razor EV, I ordered a long range and it shows 358 miles to charge. So yeah, there you go. That's exactly my theory. Tesla's going to remove the long range and the short range. They're going to sell one Model 3 variant, and they're going to say this Model 3 variant comes with 280, 290 miles of range, but if you want 350, you can pay $7,500 after time of sale, which you're getting as a credit anyways, or $125 month subscription to get that extra range, just like they do at the FSD and stuff like that. That's my theory. I think that is, we'll see. Today is August 21st. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. We'll see after 1/1, or maybe they'll announce it in December, what's actually going to happen. But I definitely think that's what's going to happen, or some sort of variant of that. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. Tyson Industries, do a interview with Strongman would grow both your channels. I haven't heard of Strongman. Maybe I'll check out his channel when we can collab. Hopefully, does he do like this type of price predictions and market predictions with the car market? I did see an article recently that the prices of used cars are coming back, but I didn't really look into it. But that's probably like July data or maybe even June data, something like that. Eddie, I just found out that the tax credit in 2023 is given at tax time. Point of sale doesn't start till 2024. Kind of annoying. Yeah, that's I thought it was time of sales too, and maybe they'll be able to push it to 2023 time of sale. But I did read that as well, that it will just be given at tax time. So if that happens, then it's not really going to adjust the market. But if it is going to be given at time of sale, then it would. I mean, companies that kind of control the whole sales process, like Tesla, they should be able to do that at time of sale and then just file for the federal government. But other brands like Ford, GM that use dealer networks, it's going to be a little bit tough to be able to be like, hey, dealer, minus $7,500 at the time of sale, we'll figure it out and pay you back after. So, but I still think it's going to have an effect on the used car market for Model 3, and that's actually what we're going to go over in a little bit. But thanks for watching so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. If you want to support the channel, I do have a buy a coffee link that I saw Stream Elements just posted. So you can buy a coffee for my drives. I usually get a Starbucks or a nice coffee. But I only get it if someone buys it. So you can definitely help me out. All right, so going back to the Model 3, we went over the current prices on my theory, the IRS new tax code, and the different vehicles that are eligible. But now let's jump into the auction values, because this is where you're going to see prices drop first. Manheim is a network of auction where dealers sell to other dealers. The public can't necessarily go in and buy cars from here unless you have a deal license. But there's one thing I think I saw recently. Let's see, the Model 3 I think came out in 2017, like the first model year. But the prices, I believe, are starting to reflect just a little bit. Okay, so the 17 Model 3, not too much decrease. I mean, there's also not a lot of volume. There hasn't been a Model 3 like this that's sold. Let's go to the 2018s because we're going to see it reflect here because dealers don't want to buy cars from each other at a lower price because then they won't be able to sell it to customers. So here, not so much. Seems like it's still kind of holding strong. Maybe a little bit of decrease on the values. So let's go to, I guess we wouldn't do like a rear-wheel drive, but let's check. Okay, so not too much. So it's still going pretty strong in terms of Model 3 values at the auction. So I'm not really saying nothing too much yet, but this is where we'd see it. The other area where we'd see Model 3 prices crashing, of course, is the open market. And this, I think, is where it gets super interesting. So let's look at all used Model 3s across the country, and then we'll sort by lowest price. So this is where I think it gets interesting and where I think we're going to see used Model 3s in the 20K range pretty soon, especially after January 1st. Because now that the tax credit comes back for Model 3s, if Tesla doesn't change their pricing and the standard range is like a purchase price, give or take, of $39,000, why would anybody buy a used Model 3 for in the 30s? Like a used one that's a couple of years old, like this should be a 20, 25, high 20K car all day, because why would you spend, you're not saving much for a 3 to 4, even actually at this point, a 2018 would be 5 years old by next year. It should be at least a 50% discount from new retail value. So that should be, if a new one is 40K, a used one would be 25K. So this is where I think the deals are going to start happening, probably around that January to March timeframe is where we're going to start to see used Model 3s get in the lower amounts for the 20K amounts for the Model 3s. So this is going to be super interesting, really something to watch because the tax credit is going to have effects on all used vehicles now that it's back. And unfortunately, if the tax credit was at time of sale, it would really impact some of these, but now that it might not be at that time of sale, like what Eddie just pointed out, it might just be a tax credit off of your taxes. Not everybody would be eligible for that. You'd have to make above like 75K to pay 7K in federal taxes at the end of the year, or liability. So not everybody would be eligible, so maybe it won't reflect as much as if it's at time of sale. But Still a really good value, I think, for a new Model 3 if you can time this correctly and put in your order to take delivery after 1/1. But my theory is that Tesla is going to raise the prices on these Model 3s at the end of the day, and it's not going to be as good of a deal. So if you want to gamble, put your money in and put your deposit in and just try and stall as long as possible. A $39K brand new Tesla Model 3 with autopilot, with the base rims that have more efficiency, is a slamming deal, I think, because in terms of value. Really, the only thing you can compare it to is maybe like a Camry hybrid or BMW Mercedes C-Class type of vehicles, but you can't get those for under 40K, or you can get a Camry hybrid for under 40K, but the miles per gallon isn't there. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I had in terms of my theories on the Tesla and what they're gonna do coming next year. Let's go back to my other. Let's see. Yep. So I went over Model 3 prices, the current tax credit, auction values, what they're currently at. It doesn't look like there's much effect on the Model 3 market just yet. Model Y, we can take a look and go back. Actually, that I'm pretty sure there was an effect, but that's usually on like the more expensive ones. But let's first look at newer. I guess this is where we would actually see it, because the used ones is in terms of like the price. It's always going to be a really good value because it's supposed to depreciate, and there's more buyers at that 30K mark to buy a used Tesla. But this is where we're starting to see it. So this is 2022 Model 3 long range values at the auction. There's tons of volume here, but it seems like we were in the 62s, maybe high 60s, and then it's just starting to trend lower and lower and lower now. Wow, okay, so 1 at 54, but that does have 23,000 miles on it. But let's see if there's some, yeah, so past 30 days, 60,000, 6 months ago, 53,000. So I guess maybe some of that isn't there, but we can see, let's go to the Model Y. And this is exactly where it's trending down. So you can see in early August, it was in the 70s, maybe even 76. And now we're trending down to the low or high 60s, just touching 70s for some of these at the auction value. So the Model, I mean, this is such an expensive vehicle, the Model Y at 70K. It's got to come down at some point because, I mean, there can't be that many buyers that absolutely need a Model Y today and are willing to pay that much markup over a brand new one. So let's see if we went to order a Model Y long range today. You're going to get it within the next 6 months. I guess if that could be a long wait, but you're already at like 66. So I guess I can see where someone will be willing to pay that extra few thousand just to lock in financing now and to just take delivery of a car. But this is where we're going to see some compression, I think. But another thing here is, what is Tesla going to do with the Model Y pricing? Are they going to jack it up so they can take more advantage of the tax credit now that they know customers are going to get it? Are they going to move the Model Y long range to $69,999 and the Model Y to $75,000? So that way with options, you still get the $7,500 tax credit? I definitely think so. And if you are interested in a Model Y, I would just put your money and order in now. So that way you lock in the price. And if it drops significantly, you can just put another order in and just kind of forego that $250. But if it increases, at least you're locked in and you do not have to worry about it. The other thing I was going to check is CarGurus price trends. We can see what the prices are for people selling these vehicles. So we can actually drill down and look into Tesla Model 3. And we can see the past 30 days, there's a little bit of a decrease, about a 1 to 2%, actually just 1.5% decrease within the past 30 days. So really, this is where the market is starting to soften just a little bit. I mean, it went up because of the summer and the hot buying season for cars, but it's starting to trend down, which that could be seasonal. People, I guess, don't buy cars when kids go back to school, and also it's November, December, but usually December, there's always a big push for car deals and car sales because manufacturers want to close out the year with a strong sales quarter and strong sales year. So we might see this kind of go back up. but there is a slight decrease, and I really think that come January of the next year, we're going to see huge decreases of inventory, or sorry, decreases of prices, because the tax credit's going to be back and there's just going to be good deals out there. So yeah, that's pretty much my theory on Teslas and the Model 3 and what's going to happen within the next 3 months. Of course, if you can wait, definitely just try and wait it out as much as possible. That's where the deals are going to be. But if you can't wait, if you need a car immediately, I guess just buy one or buy a used one. Try not to pay too much over MSRP value unless you're going to turn around and make money with that. Like if you are going to be doing Uber on the side, or you're going to tow the car, and then that way you can put something into motion to make your asset or your liability an asset to generate some sort of income from that. I've definitely done Turo. It's a little nerve-wracking. You really have to not care about your cars. I've made a couple videos on that if you're interested in the process. And I also had one horror story where my Model Y disappeared completely and the guy got arrested. But that's a whole nother story, and you can watch that video. It's definitely a fun time. But Turo, paid me back and was able to compensate me for my time and all that. So it was definitely a fun story. But yeah, if there's any further questions, to go ahead and put them in the chat on buying or selling a Tesla or even financing a Tesla. I just made a video recently called Do This Now. It was like an update to my first Do This Now, and where I found financing for 2.99%, which is unbelievable right now because most banks, even DCU, which has been my favorite for the longest time, even DCU is at like 4.5% to even 5% for a car loan. So 2.99% for 72 months is absolutely insane. So definitely check out that video. Please hit that like on that video if you enjoyed it. But if there's no other questions, thanks for joining in on today's Sunday stream. I hope all of you are having a fantastic day. Please hit that like if you enjoy the stream, and I'm probably going to do easier streams like this on probably a weekend basis. Hopefully you liked it. If you have any tips or recommendations, put it down in the comments or on the stream comments. And I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.